Dear viewers, in this module, we will see about e-commerce and e-business. In the emerging global economy, e-commerce and e-business have increasingly become a great necessary component of business strategy and a strong catalyst for economic development. The integration of information and communication technology in business has revolutionized relationships within the organizations and those between and among organizations and individuals. Specifically, the use of ICT in business has enhanced productivity, encouraged greater customer participation and enabled mass customization besides reducing costs. At the end of this module, you will be able to explore the evolution of e-business and what it is, recognize the types of e-businesses and its relationship with e-commerce, elaborate different types of e-commerce and its applications. Now, let us see a brief history of e-commerce. E-commerce in its initial form of commercial transactions emerged in the late 1970s. At this point, exchange of commercial documentation between businesses and electronically was initiated. By 2000, businesses in America and Western Europe started to present the goods and services online. This is when traditional commerce emerged to e-commerce and e-business was born. Amazon and eBay were the first among e-businesses to allow electronic transactions. Meaning and concept of e-business. Gone are the days when we have to go to the shop to buy a single item. Now we have to just place an order online and that item will come to us within few minutes. Online shopping is getting familiar just because of simplicity and convenience. This is capable of being done only because of two electronic networks, namely e-commerce and e-business. E-commerce is buying and selling of goods around the web. On the contrary, e-business is not limited to commercial transactions, but it also provides other services. E-commerce is concerned with the firms dealing with the customers, clients or suppliers. Conversely, e-business refers to undertaking industry with the help of information technology and communication. Any brick and mortar store can transform to an e-commerce business by adding a virtual storefront with an online catalog. E-business entangles e-commerce, but e-commerce does not cover all aspects of e-business. Definition of e-business. E-business is the conduct of business on the internet, not restricted to only buying and selling, but also servicing customers and collaborating with business partners. A more comprehensive definition of e-business is the transformation of an organization's processes to deliver additional customer value through the application of technologies, philosophies and computing paradigm of the new economy. Now, let us see the types of e-business. There are two different types of e-business. The first one is pure play. Pure play is the business which is having only electronic existence. The second type is brick and click, the business model in which the business exists both in online and offline mode. There is always a question if e-commerce is same as e-business. Here is the solution. While e-commerce and e-business are often being used interchangeably, they are distinct concepts. In e-commerce, Information and communication technology is commonly used in inter-business or inter-organizational transactions and in business-to-consumer transactions. In e-business, on the other hand, information and communication technology is used to enhance one's business. It encompasses any process that a business organization conducts over a computer-mediated network. Now, let us see about the process enhanced in e-business. Firstly, production process, which includes procurement, ordering and replenishment of stocks, processing of payments. Secondly, customer focused process, which includes promotional and marketing efforts, selling over the internet, processing of customers' purchase orders and payments and customer support. Thirdly, internal management process, which includes employee services, training, internal information sharing, video conferencing and recruitment. Now, let us see about the differences or relationship between e-commerce and e-business. When electronic medium is used in commercial transaction, then it is termed as e-commerce. When electronic medium is used in all day-to-day activities, then it is termed as e-business. E-commerce includes transactions which are related to money, but e-business includes monetary as well as allied activities. E-commerce has an extroverted approach that includes customers, suppliers, distributors, etc. On the other hand, e-business has an ambivert approach that includes internal as well as external processes. E-commerce needs a website that can represent the business. Conversely, e-business needs a website, customer relationship management and enterprise resource planning for running the business over the internet. E-commerce uses the internet to connect with the nook and corner of the world. In contrast, e-business uses the internet, intranet and extranet for connecting with the parties. E-commerce is a major component of e-business. E-business and e-commerce both addresses the business processes as well as technology infrastructure of databases, application servers, security tools, system management and legacy systems. Now, let us see the different types of e-commerce. The different types of e-commerce are consumer to consumer, consumer to government, government to government, business to government, business to business, business to consumer, business to administration and consumer to administration. Now, let us see about consumer to consumer. In consumer to consumer e-commerce or C2C, it is simply a commerce between individuals or consumers. C2C is the type of e-commerce that provides the opportunity for trading of products or services amongst consumers who are connected through the internet. In this type, electronic tools and internet infrastructures are employed to support transactions between individuals. C2C type e-commerce encompasses all the electronic transactions of goods or services conducted between consumers. Further, these transactions are conducted through a third party which provides the online platform for the transactions to be actually carried out. This category of e-commerce is characterized by the growth of electronic marketplaces and online auctions. It perhaps has a high potential to develop new markets. C2C electronic commerce promotes the opportunity intended for consumers to transact goods or services with other consumers connected on the internet. The customer has to follow the rules of this community to complete, check and decide his own basic selling and buying prices. In the other words, it is defined as the financial interaction between non-business entities using the web traditionally. The popular C2C sites such as eBay and Napster indicate that the market is quite large, producing millions of dollars in sales every day. Now, let us see about consumer to government. In the recent days, there is a growing attention on the potential benefits of technology for fostering citizen to government relations. Since many people agree that a new paradigm of governance is needed, namely one that evolves around citizen empowerment and increased citizen engagement in government processes, e-government emerges as a potential solution for restoring citizen involvement, thus facilitating the development of truly participatory communities at all levels of government. C2G applications usually encompass tax payment, issuing certificates or other documents, etc. Though we can't strictly define consumer or citizen to government as e-commerce, we can see several C2G applications under the scope of transactions that are done and handled more efficiently and effectively with e-commerce systems and technologies. In this type, an individual consumer interacts with the government. For example, a consumer can pay income tax or house tax online. Government to government commerce. Government to government is the sharing of data or information systems electronically between government agencies, departments or organizations. The main aim of G2G is to favor e-government initiatives by improving communication, data access and data sharing. Several factors are driving local and federal government to promote G2G initiatives. One of them is federal government legislation such as the Open Government Directive. G2G initiatives are also being driven by budget and funding. Through sharing of information and systems, governments are able to reduce IT costs. Government offices can be more efficient, allowing citizens to access information over the internet. They may also qualify to grant fund depending on the project. For example, of a successful G2G project is the Northeast Gang Information System. NEGIS is implemented in the Northeast states to share information about street gangs, including gang-related activities and gang intelligence. The system connects all the state police departments of the participating states and transmits the collected information to their state's law enforcement and public service agencies. Now, let us see about business to government e-commerce. B2G is the concept that businesses and government agencies can use central websites to exchange information and do business with each other more efficiently than they usually can off the web. B2G is a new trend in e-commerce. This type of e-commerce is made use of by the government departments to directly reach to the citizens by setting up the central websites. These websites are based on government policies, rules and regulations related to the respective departments. Any citizen may interact with these websites to perceive various details. This helps the people to be aware of the facts without going to the respective department. Therefore, it saves time of the employees as well as citizens. Next is business to government commerce. B2G refers to a business model where business sell products, services or information to governments or government agencies. Example, a website offering B2G services could provide businesses with a single place to locate applications and tax forms for one or more level of government, providing the ability to send in filled out forms and payments, update corporate information, request answers to specific questions and so on. B2G might also involve e-procurement services in which businesses learn about the purchasing needs of agencies and agencies request proposal responses. B2G may also uphold the idea of a virtual workplace in which a business and an agency could coordinate the work on a contracted project by sharing a common site to synchronize online meetings, review plans and manage progress. B2G networks or models furnish a way for businesses to bid on government projects or products that government might purchase or need for their organization. This encompasses public sector organizations that propose the bids. B2G activities are increasingly being conducted via the internet through real-time bidding. B2G is also referred to as public sector marketing. Government bids are proposals that originate from businesses that have something a government needs. The proposals may be in the form of reverse auctions where sellers are competing to obtain business. The concept of smart city has been evolved from B2G e-commerce. The B2G type covers contracts of all sorts for goods, services and information between businesses of all sizes and government at all levels. Businesses that interact with other businesses or directly with consumers often encounter higher than expected hurdles when working with government agencies. Government contracts are mostly large and frequently more stable than analogous private sector work. The next one is business to business. B2B e-commerce refers to the e-commerce between companies. This comes under the category of e-commerce that deals with relationships between and among businesses. B2B e-commerce facilitates all electronic transactions of goods or services conducted between companies. Producers and traditional commerce wholesalers significantly operate with this type of electronic commerce. About 80% of e-commerce is of this type, and most experts predict that B2B e-commerce would grow rapidly than the B2C segment. Business to business e-commerce promotes inter-organizational interaction and transaction. This category requires two or more business entities interacting with each other directly or through an intermediary. The intermediary are the markets and directory service providers who assist in matching buyers and sellers and striking a deal. The B2B market has two primary components, which are the infrastructure and e-markets. Infrastructure is nothing but the architecture of B2B, primarily consisting of the following: logistics, which is the transportation, warehousing and distribution. Example, Procter and Gamble. Application service providers, which includes deployment, hosting and management of packaged software from a central facility, which has an example of Oracle. Outsourcing of functions in the process of e-commerce, which will include web hosting, security and customer care solutions, examples of which will include outsourcing providers such as eShare and NetSales. Auction solution software, which is the operation and maintenance of real-time auctions in the internet, example for which is OpenSite Technologies. Content management software, which facilitates the website content management and delivery, for which an example can be Interwoven and ProcureNet. Purchasing automation software, which will include web-based commerce enablers, for which an example is Commerce One. E-markets, nothing but the websites where e-buyers and sellers interact with each other and conduct transactions. B2B examples and best practice models are IBM, Hewlett-Packard, Cisco and Dell. Most B2B applications are in the areas of supplier management, inventory management, distribution management, channel management and payment management. Now, let us see about the types of B2B e-commerce. Supplier-centric model. A supplier sets up the e-commerce marketplace. Various customers interact with the supplier at its e-commerce marketplace. Buyer-centric model. The online commerce marketplace is used by buyer for placing requests for quotations and carrying out the entire purchase process. Intermediary-centric model. A third party sets up the e-commerce marketplace and attracts both the buyer and seller businesses to interact with each other. It acts as a hub for both suppliers and buyers. Now, let us see about business to consumer e-commerce. B2C is the second largest and the earliest form of e-commerce. Its source can be traced to online retailing. The business to consumer category of e-commerce is distinguished by the establishment of electronic business relationships between businesses and consumers. Business to consumer e-commerce involves customers gathering information, purchasing physical goods or information goods content such as software and receiving products over an electronic network. This type of relationship is more dynamic and has developed greatly due to the advent of the web. There are many virtual stores and malls on the internet which sell all kinds of consumer goods such as computers, software, books, cars, food, digital publications, etc. When compared to buying retail in traditional commerce, the consumer can gather more information available in terms of informative content as well as ensuring quick processing and delivery of the order. The common B2C business models are the online retailing companies such as Amazon.com and Tyrus. The well-known applications of this type of e-commerce are in the areas of purchasing products and information and personal finance management, which pertains to the management of personal investments and finances with the use of online banking tools. The B2C model of e-commerce is ideally suited for the following types of commodities: goods that can be easily transformed into digital formats, examples books, music clips and videos; items that follow standard specifications, examples printer ribbons, ink cartridges; high rated branded items or items with return security, example electronic gadgets; items sold in packets that cannot be opened even in physical stores, example film rolls; items that can be experienced online, example music and videos. Now it is time to see about business to administration. The term administration refers to public administration or government entities. B2A e-commerce encompasses all transactions conducted online between companies and public administration. It involves a large amount and a variety of services in areas such as social security, employment, legal documents and registers. Countless branches of government are dependent on or use e-services or products in one form or another, especially in the area of documents and employment. These types of services have increased rapidly in recent years with investments made in e-government. Consumer to administration e-commerce. It is a model that encompasses all electronic transactions conducted between individuals and public administration. Although government very rarely buy products or services from individuals, individuals frequently use electronic means to transmit payments and file tax returns. Examples: education, disseminating information and distance learning; in social security, distribution of information and making payments; with regard to taxes, filing tax returns and payments; and in health appointments, information about diseases and payment of health services. Both models involving public administration, that is B2A and C2A, are strongly bonded to the idea of efficiency and easy usability of the services provided to citizens by the government with the help of information and communication technology. As concluding remarks, it is known that e-commerce has become the vital part of e-business. E-commerce is e-business, but e-business is not necessarily e-commerce. At present, most of the companies are doing e-business to capture the maximum part of the market. Thank you.